Gus, if Blake is in trouble, you have to tell me what's going on.
Well, I wouldn't say that she's in trouble as much as I say she's about to have the Tory experience.
And what does that mean?
In Tory's house, we found a shrine. Ross, I'm talking the whole 9 yards. Candles, photos, clippings, photos of her dead husband, and photos of you.
And Blake is there by herself? I have to get up there.
It's too late.
Well, she has gone through too much as of late.
Ross,
I mean,
Ross,
up there alone.
It's too late, and she's not going to be alone. Harley's going to be with her. In fact, Harley had one phone call from a jail cell. The only person she called was Blake. I mean, that's a good friend. In fact, they're probably on their way back to Springfield now already.
All right. You came here to ask me some questions. What are they?
Let's start with the Santos trial.
Oh, here we go. Revenge time, huh?
No. Just that Tori had clipped every single article, every word, every single photo on the trial.
I don't find that surprising. It was a big case, and Tori was a law student. Unless you're saying the only reason that Tori moved to Springfield was to seduce me.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think she came down here to do that. I think in her dead husband.
What about him?
I think that you need to know he looks exactly like you. And I think that in Tori's mind, she was replacing her dead husband with you.
Does Tory's shrine or her obsession with me or the fact that I resemble her late husband, that doesn't excuse what I did to her or what I did to Blake.
Oh, see what I think it does. I think it does. She came down to this town to use you and her dead husband.
No. I used her.
You know, that's just your guilt that you have, or that's your ego.
You speak to me as if I derive some kind of pleasure from this situation, and I find that insulting.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Then I don't mean that. I'm just trying to find out exactly why she killed herself.
We both know why she killed herself. I took advantage of her without considering the consequences.
Ross, everybody knows that she was sick. She was a very sick person, okay? And I think she planned everything, right down to your guilt.
That's insane.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's insane. I think that she knows that you're a vulnerable, very nice man. And she even planned your hating yourself for initiating it. She was pulling all the strings.
Well, if that's the case, and I'm not quite convinced that it is, she succeeded, didn't she?
You know, why do you do this to yourself, determined to flog yourself?
I don't know why. It's just that vindication coming from you. It makes me feel worse.
It only happened one time, right?
Briefly, here's how it went. I led her on. I shut her out.
Says Tori.
And me. And that fact, coupled with her husband's death, which she never recovered from, that just pushed her over the edge.
You're smart, man, Ross. And I really look up to you. Mr. Mahler, I do. But why can't you see it?
See what, Gus?
The whole femme fatale routine. She sees that you're a vulnerable man. The more she bats her eyelashes, the more she gets out of you. She was very sick and she was very smart, and that's a lethal combination. She had the whole victim and the rescue me thing down to a science.
Well, if that's the case, that would explain a number of things.
Good. Like what?
Like a photograph of me, and there was an inscription on the back, and she had forged my handwriting, and then she wrote a message to herself.
That's a very desperate act.
Yeah, it is. And calculated. Because I am convinced that she wanted us to find that photograph right around this point in time.
Did Blake ever see it?
Yes, she did. And if Tori wanted to shatter whatever little faith Blake had left in me, she did it. It worked.
Tracing paper. Well, that's Ross's writing. Brilliant. That rhymes with will. Will. Always. Love. Tori. Oh, Tori, you forged this. Ross didn't write this love message.
Hey, Harley. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
I've just been very busy getting sucked into this nightmare.
I told you.
Hello? Can you believe I trusted my children around that psychopath?
Yeah, well, if it helps, you don't have to worry about her anymore.
It's like she was so haunted by your husband's death that she recreated him in Ross. And it has occurred to me that she might have been trying to kill Ross.
You know what, when I saw this, when I saw how much Ross and her dead husband looked alike, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, well, wait till you see this. Look.
Maybe she was trying to forge some checks.
No, worse. I found a picture of Ross in the back of her diary, and on the back of it was an inscription in Ross's writing saying, Tori, I will always love you, Ross.
Really?
Yeah, she forged it. She took remarks that he had made on her law papers, and she forged it, and she created a love message. Now, if she forged this...
If?
She's a lot needier than I thought.
I mean, this is worse than sending yourself flowers on Valentine's Day.
Either that, or she was trying to set me up, and she wanted me to find that picture.
Very smart, Blake. To make it look like Ross loved her more than he did.
Well, if that's the case, I bought it, hook, line, and sinker.
Whether Tori Granger was mentally unbalanced before or after she moved to Springfield, that's quite beside the point, because following her death, I have to focus on the things that I can fix, like my relationship with Blake.
Uh-oh. She kicked you out. She kicked you out.
Actually,
She gave you the boot. Oh, she said, I'm never taking you back. Never taking you back. And then, of course, she does.
we're trying to work it out. Not that she's forgiven me or ever will.
Well, you know, she'll come around. She'll come around.
I doubt it.
No, they do this on purpose. They do it on purpose just to keep us on our toes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Listen, case in point, okay? This woman asked me to go to the country. Okay, it's Harley. And she says, let's go to the country. So I get all excited about it. And I go, woohoo. She sees that, then she gets scared, and then she starts to feel suffocated. And yeah, we did end up in a jail cell for a couple of days instead of the country thing, but that's kind of besides the point.
What did you and Harley do to wind up in jail?
It's a long story, believe me. It's just, but she is like the princess vacillator. She runs with the hounds and hares. She drives me crazy.
Well, I hope so. I mean, in a good way, for her sake.
And I drive her crazy. I drive her just as crazy, but she won't even admit that. Never admits it to herself.
I think she'll admit it. Probably the moment that you throw in the towel.
Well, at least you know Ross wasn't lying about that picture.
Well, I guess not about that.
So I guess you're not ready to forgive him yet? I can understand it. I really can. Hey, we all think of Ross as perfect. You know, Mr. Right. Not Mr. Almost Right. Although, Mr. Almost Right wouldn't be so bad, would he?
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, that. Well, what can I say? I go for bad boys.
You could have had Rick, Mr. Dependable.
Yeah, but not Mr. Right. And the operative word there was go for, which I didn't. I mean, What, a loving father, a kind doctor, sanity, stability?
Enough to drive a girl mad.
I'm beginning to think I just like being miserable.
Or you didn't love Rick. You did try to make it work.
I did.
You did.
We both did. We really did.
And you don't have to try with Gus.
Yeah, but I can't do it.
Why not? You said you want a bad boy.
No, I said I go for bad boys, but what I want and what's good for me are two different things.
Yeah, well, maybe what's good for you is for you to feel good about yourself. And if he does that for you, maybe he's not half the bad guy you think he is.
Maybe. There's something about him. Sometimes I feel like he's my soulmate. And then other times I think he has no soul.
Perhaps it hibernates.
Yes, under a festering heap of laundry. Have you been in his hotel room? He drives me nuts. I'm telling you, he's driving me crazy. He is so annoying sometimes and obnoxious. And then, you know, like right now, all I can think about is kissing him again.
That's love.
I don't know. I don't know if it is, but I know sometimes it sure feels like it.
You know what, Harley? You should go with what's in your heart and go for Gus.
Women, you can't live with them, you can't live with them. Who needs them, Ross?
Gus, we do.
And you can't rationalize with them, and you can't reason with them. You gotta wait for the tide to turn before you put your toe in, and you can't make any sense out of them. You gotta choose your, what? You gotta choose your fights all the time. It's...
Nothing, Gus. It's just so strange to hear this coming from you.
Well, I just kind of figured for a second we're in the same boat, and I thought, you know, we could commiserate.
You know, this proves it. There is a first time for everything.
I really did come down here with, you know, just the best intentions.
Yeah, and I thought you were coming over here with revenge on your mind, but I guess not.
Please, I'm over it.
You didn't exactly feel that way at the time.
Well, I've had a lot of time to think about things, you know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, because you could be taking advantage of the situation, and you're not.
I think Blake has punished you enough.
Now that you've seen my marriage go up in flames, maybe you can consider us even?
I think the worst is behind, you know. It's just a waiting game now, pal. Just a waiting game.
I don't want to go back to Springfield. Imagine that.
Come on, I'll hold your hand.
I'd rather stay here at my dead, insane rival's house. Now, what does that tell you?
Tells me you're still feeling a lot of pain.
I would do anything to keep my brain off it. Which, including staring at Tory'S creepy shrine to Ross.
No, hon, I understand that, but, you know, eventually you're gonna have to make a decision.
Yeah, says who?
Says you. Okay? Because you know that no matter how much you still hurt and how mad you are, eventually you're going to have to forgive Ross.
I don't want to.
Yeah, but you love him too much not to.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. You have children with him.
I know, which is what makes me... It keeps me from going insane.
But they need their father.
Well, so does Zach. Now, did you forgive Philip for sleeping with Beth?
No. No, I never did. Not really. No. No, what I did was I just, I kept holding on to all of my anger and obsessing about it until it ruined my marriage. See, I think things are different with you guys. I really think that there's time for you guys to find your way back to each other.
Well, I know what you're saying makes sense. I do, but I can't force it, Harley. It's like love or passion. I don't feel it. Not yet.
Come on, let's go home.
I didn't hear you come in.
Because I just got here. Where are the kids?
Tommy Sanderson's birthday party.
Oh.
You left her in such a hurry.
Yeah. I went to Pennsylvania. I went to Tory's old house. Gus and Harley said there was something I needed to see, and, it was a very creepy shrine.
Yes, a shrine to her late husband, Stuart, and also to me.
How did you know?
Because Gus Toro stopped over here, and he told me, and he said there were candles, mementos, photographs of me, and other stuff.
Uh-huh. Did he tell you what else was missing?
No, what's missing?
Well, if any of these seem familiar, it's because she stole them while she was at the house. Only she made a few changes.
What changes?
She blew me away. I realized I was never a person to Tori. I was just an obstacle to overcome, to achieve her goal. You.
If I had known that you were going to go there, I would have come with you.
No. I needed to go by myself. I wanted to see how Tori lived. I wanted to understand what she was thinking.
And do you understand?
I understand that she was obsessed. First with Stuart, and then with you. And by Xing me out of these family photos, she was making a statement. It's like I never existed.
I can't imagine that, and I don't want to.
Until I saw these photos, Ross, I always thought that Tori went crazy because she couldn't get what she wanted. But now I realize that she was sick to begin with.
Yes, I think she was a very disturbed young woman, and then her husband was killed in that car crash, and she got worse.
Yeah, well, he looked an awful lot like you. Did Gus tell you that?
Yes, he did, but Tory's obsession is not something that we could foresee or control, and that's not an excuse of any kind, but it just goes to show you how wounded she was before she even came to town.
She was sick and dangerous.
I know.
You know, it's gonna be strange coming from me, but I feel sorry for her. She didn't have a life. I mean, these pictures were her life. They were up on the wall and her candles, and you were a replacement. You were her target, that's true. But she would not have hit that bullseye if our relationship wasn't flawed from the beginning. Maybe fatally flawed. I did a lot of thinking on the way home from Pennsylvania about your part in this and mine.
Look, you didn't have a part.
Well, no, you're the one who slept with Tori, that's for sure. But I can't help but think about any guilt I might have had.
You shouldn't be feeling guilty about anything. I'm the one that crossed the line.
Why?
Why? What do you mean, why?
Did you need something from me that I couldn't give you?
No, that's not true at all.
I didn't see it coming. And obviously, Tori could figure out something that I couldn't.
Tori did not know me better than you did. I mean, if that's what you're suggesting. She had an agenda before she even came to Springfield. Nothing about this is your fault.
Well, maybe not from something that I did, but maybe from something that I didn't do.
Like what?
Like maybe get her professional help. Instead, I gave her a makeover. I brought her into this house. I let her babysit our children.
Yeah, but we thought we were dealing with a normal young woman. And think where we were at that particular point in time. I was questioning everything in my life, including stay in the law or get out of the law, and then you come up with this idea of me teaching at the university.
Oh, yeah. I came up with it all right.
It was a wonderful idea, but it doubled my workload, so you insisted that Tori should start working. You were just trying to make things easier.
Yeah, and I did that, didn't I?
Blake, you were being kind to a young woman. You were trying to help me. You were doing that because that's the kind of person you are, and that's one of the reasons I love you. And I always will. And I just hope to God that you will give us another chance.
The boys didn't want to come home from their birthday party, so they sent their balloons instead. Jason told me that Tommy received a sword for a present and proclaimed himself Luke Skypopper.
Okay, well then it was good that you showed up when you did.
Oh yeah, I'm a superhero.
Well, you pretty much are to all of us.
Well, gives me a chance to figure out what to eat, maybe sort out the mail. Check it out. I've been honored at the Romance Writers Convention in Chicago. Funny, huh? They think I'm an expert on love.
So you're gonna go away?
For a couple of days, yeah. I think we could both use it.
Well, being away from you for a couple of days is not what I want, but if you want to go, you should.
It's an award. I want to go.
Well, are you going because you want to get the award, or are you going because you want to avoid me, which you've been doing? You've been doing everything except face me. And why is that? Is it just too painful, or is it simply too late for us?
You shouldn't let the balloons get near the fire. They might pop.
Listen, you know, since you have been to Tory's house and you've seen how she lived and you've been in her room and you've seen that shrine and you've seen the depth of her obsession, I think we should talk about this.
Ross, I know the depth of what Tori went to. I know that she wrote this love message on the back of this picture. She traced these words from notes you gave her on her law paper. That's what she did, by the way. I know a lot of things, Ross. I don't know if it excuses the choice you made.
Of course it doesn't. I'm not asking to be excused. I'm asking if you still love me.
You endangered our family. Your one-night stand, whatever it is you want to call it. You put our children at risk. I know you're sorry, Ross. I know you regret it. God knows I have regrets. And you've always forgiven me.
But what? Do you still love me?
I do. But it's not the same. And I don't think it will ever be the way that it was.
I understand your feelings completely. I'm just asking that we don't make a decision right now.
Ross, I don't want Tori to win any more than you do. She lived to tear us apart, and even now that she's gone...
We need to keep communicating, and we need to keep talking.
I know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my pride. Maybe it's my stubbornness. Maybe it's the fact that I can't stand that you wanted somebody else. You know, whether it was Vanessa through Tori or whatever it was that was tormenting you that I still don't understand. And I know that I need to work through this, Ross, I do. And I will keep trying. Because if I don't...
If you don't, we'll both lose something that we've worked on, something that we treasure, the love that we have for one another. You're the only one for me, Blake. And that's never gonna change. But people make mistakes, and they hurt one another. But I believe if the love is strong enough, it can survive anything.
Maybe.
Maybe is not a no.